Hey everyone, welcome back to the Race Vice Smokehouse and Grill, and today we are cooking up some rib tips. Look at these beauties, and we are cooking them up on the Offset Smoker. Let's get it fired up. Let's go. Thanks for hanging in there. Like I said, we're doing these rib tips on the Offset CharGriller XD. If you don't know what rib tips are, they come off of the spare rib. When they get trimmed down to St. Louis cuts, these are the parts at the top of the rib that usually you get discarded, but don't keep them, smoke them up. They make great treats, and that's what we're gonna do today. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna trim these up and clean them up if we need to. Looking at them, they're real nice. They do have some fat on here, but a lot of this fat we're gonna keep because that's gonna render down over the long smoke. These used to have what's called a chine bone. That gets taken off because that's not gonna get eaten. These already came with the chine bone taken off, so we don't need to worry about that. So let's start trimming these up. Got a lot of this hard fat here that's really not gonna do us any good. We just wanna kinda clean that up. That's as easy as it is. All we're gonna do is kinda trim up the little nubbins and loose ends that aren't gonna cook right, and then we're gonna rub them up. So let's go get these trimmed up, like this guy here. We're gonna go through these and trim them all up. Like here's a good example. There's a bunch of just nasty fat on here that's not gonna do us any good. So let's get rid of it. Take that fat off of there. Try to keep a little uniform, just like when you're cooking ribs. These are basically ribs, right? Just off the tips. It really helps to have a nice sharp knife. I've just started using these Vosteed knives. Check it out, they're awesome. Click on the link below and there's a code down there where you could get 10 bucks off this knife. Great knife, super sharp. Check it out. So this got some big cartilage here. Let's just go ahead and get that out of there. Otherwise we're gonna be chopping that up later. A lot of the times with these rib tips, you could just follow where it's at. These are all trimmed up. We are going to be using Memphis mud from Pork Mafia, which is one of my favorite rubs. Great on pork. And we're just gonna hit these like we do ribs, both sides, and a liberal coating. Get all sides, and we're just gonna rub all these up here. These are all rubbed up, trimmed up, ready to get on the smoker, so let's fire that up. We're gonna be using the CharGriller Offset Grand Champ. We're gonna start with some Jealous Devil lump charcoal to really get a good bed of coals down there. And then we're gonna be firing some oak wood up on there to get some great smoke flavor throughout the cook. So let's go get that fired up and get these on the grill. Grill is up to temp. We're gonna be running at about 250 to 275 for the duration of the cook. And we can tell that these are ready to go on because of how well that rub is set up. And the meat's starting to look a little wet. So that shows that the rub is adhering to the meat and it's ready to cook. So let's get these on the grill. I am using a water pan in the chamber just to try to keep a little extra moisture in here. So the firebox is on this side, and I like to keep the bigger, meatier, thicker ends closer to the firebox so they don't burn up. These are on. We've closed it up. These are going to go for a couple hours. I don't even know if I'm gonna open this grill to look at them, because what we're doing right now is we're letting that smoke really hit it, set up a good bark on there. And we're gonna come back, like I said, it's gonna be at least an hour or two before we come back, and that's when we're gonna hit it with a spritz, check it out, see what else we're gonna do at that time. Let's go. These rib tips have been going for about 2 hours strong. I did spritz them once at about the 1 hour mark. Let's take a look, show you what these guys are looking like now. They're looking really nice coming along, but as you can see, they're starting to show a little drying out on the surface, but that's expected, right? We're smoking them. So what we're gonna do, we have our spray bottle full of 50% water, 50% apple cider vinegar, and we're just gonna give these guys a spritz on here, get some moisture back on the surface. And we're gonna close this back up. Been on 2 hours. We're gonna let these go a couple hours more. We're looking for a tenderness and a temperature. We're gonna be pushing probably internal about 190, 200, somewhere in that range. I'm not even gonna check the temp yet because I know these still got time. So let's close this chamber back up and let it keep rolling. Okay, we're looking at about 4 hours in this cook. We're gonna open this up, pull them out, take a look at them, give them another spritz. And then we're gonna gauge where we are, if we're ready to sauce them, they're getting ready to be pulled off, what we're gonna do. So let's go take a look. These are looking delicious. We're getting a nice color here. You can tell they're juicy. Though the surface looks a little dry, that's okay because we just blast them with a little bit of our mixture again. And we're gonna close this back up and let them keep rolling. Let's do a quick temp check in here. Yep, these are only 150s, 160s. We've got some time yet. So let's close this back up and let it keep rolling. These are gonna be done when they're done. We're looking hopefully maybe another hour or so. And our next step is gonna sauce them. You can just hit them with whatever sauce you want. So we'll be back when it's time to sauce. We're gonna go ahead and check these rib tips. They are probing pretty tender right now, so we like to throw a little bit of sauce on our rib tips here. We're not gonna douse them, we're just gonna brush them, get a nice coating, so when we chop them up, we get a great tacky, flavorful texture. Let's check. Okay, you can see this great color that we got on these, and we're just gonna probe these for tenderness. They're going in like hot knife through butter, which is what we're looking for. And we're probing into, 180s, 190s, which is perfect. Let's sauce these up. You can just use your favorite sauce. Doesn't have to be anything fancy or special, whatever you like. These are all sauced up. We're gonna close the lid on this, let it go till it's nice and tacky, pull it off, let it rest for a minute, and then chop into it. So let's close this up. These rib tips are done and look amazing. We did sauce them twice, and all we used was the great open pit, one of my favorite cheap sauces, but the rub, Memphis mud from Pork Mafia, one of my favorites. Check these out, absolutely gorgeous. Time to cut into them. We're gonna slide these over here so we can hack into these. And I recommend having a nice heavy knife when you're doing this, because a lot of times there's cartilage in here that you need to kind of break through and cut through, but we're gonna see. These seem pretty tender to the touch. Let's cut. Oh, look at that juice pouring out of there. Take a look at that. Look how juicy and oh my gosh, how tender. Such an absolute treat. If you ever trim a full slab of spare ribs and you take those rib tips off, make sure you cook them. It's such a treat. Great for appetizers or pitmaster privilege. Chew on those while you're cooking the rest. Ah, so good. I'm gonna cut the rest of these up and serve them. Thanks for stopping by, checking in. Check us out at Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. If you like what we did, give us a thumbs up, click that subscribe button, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for stopping by. Cheers, take care.